SANYO Gutiérrez has a new partner. He will play with Maxi Sanchez in what will be the third time that SANYO and Maxi play together. Will SANYO and Maxi be able to repeat 2018? In that season they finished number ones. Why the union of SANYO and Maxi is a good decision? What are their strengths and weaknesses? Hello players, I'm Pablo and I welcome you to a new 4Set. SANYO Gutiérrez and Maxi Sanchez meet again. After playing together in the juniors in San Luis, it will be the third time that they play together in the professional tour. Their first stage started in 2013 in the first year of World Padel Tour. Which, by the way, if you subscribe to the channel, you help me a lot. SANYO and Maxi will manage to be pair number 4, winning 2 titles and the first Master Final. In 2014, they will move up to number 3 pair, winning a title and the Master Final again. But that Master Final was a special one. But it was a special Master Final because they managed to win in the final against Juan Martín Díaz and Vela in what was their last match together after 12 years. We will get to 2015 and they decided to separate in the middle of the season. Juan Martín Díaz and Mieres decided to break up, so Maxi started to play with Juan Martín Díaz, with whom he won the Master Final, and SANYO with Juani winning in Madrid. That was the end of that first stage, which left a sweet taste for having been competitive, but the pairs Juan Martín Díaz Vela and Vela Lima had been impossible to overcome. Years will pass and SANYO will join Paquito and he was really close to be number 1. And then we will reach the second stage of SANYO and Maxi in 2018. And that was the most successful stage of both players. And a stage that broke the most important record in the history of padel. But in 2018 they will try something unprecedented until that moment and that now is very normal. They were gonna have 2 coaches during the season. SANYO was going to live in Valladolid to train with Gustavo Prato and Maxi was going to do the same but in Madrid and with Nito Brea. And this is how SANYO and Maxi explained their new adventure together.
Por mi parte con muchísima ilusión, con muchísimas ganas, creo que tenemos un buen año por delante, la segunda vez que vamos a jugar juntos. En realidad hemos jugado juntos muchísimas veces porque somos de la misma ciudad y venimos jugando juntos desde que tenemos 15, 16 años.
Después de haber jugado, después de haber hecho la primera etapa con SANYO, bueno, la segunda después de menores, creo que él como jugador mejoró, siempre fue escalando, siempre fue para arriba, se puede ver en los resultados que ha tenido y en el ranking que tiene. Y bueno, siempre fue un jugador, nosotros los deportistas siempre miramos para arriba y la verdad que siempre para mí fue un reto volver a jugar con él, siempre lo tuve en mi cabeza. Así que bueno, hablamos en su momento, en el periodo que las parejas se van acomodando, armamos un proyecto muy lindo, muy bueno, nos conocemos de hace mucho tiempo, así que creo que bueno, es un año ilusionante por lo menos para ver y para dar el mejor resultado posible durante el año.
From the first moment, the new adventure of SANYO and Maxi worked and managed to impose a very characteristic style of play. Maxi was in charge of working the point and trying to accelerate the ball while SANYO was the one who unbalanced the point. And watch out with these stats, because they managed in 2018 to reach 70% of the finals in the 16 tournaments that they played in. They won 8 titles and achieved the most difficult, to be number 1. After 16 years, Fernando Velasteguin lost the throne that he will never recover again. So SANYO and Maxi have made history. But why did SANYO and Maxi combine so well?
Yo buscaba algo más sólido, algo que me dé esa seguridad que necesito al lado. Creo que en una pareja cada uno tiene su papel. O sea, si vos juntas a 2 grandes jugadores con apellidos muy populares o porque por ahí muy mágicos, puede salir bien como puede salir muy mal. Creo que en este caso ninguno de los 2 somos muy populares, pero creo que trabajamos muy bien el uno para el otro. Yo sé lo que tengo que hacer para que Maxi sea grande y Maxi sabe lo que tiene que hacer para que yo me haga grande. Creo que eso es lo fundamental en este deporte, que por ahí la gente no lo sabe. La gente por ahí ve 2 grandes jugadores y no siempre funciona. De hecho, a lo largo de la historia se ha demostrado que 2 grandes jugadores no siempre van a funcionar bien. Creo que con Maxi por ahí somos 2 trabajadores incansables. Yo por ahí, la gente me dice que pongo ese poquito de magia, que por ahí es fundamental tener ese poquito de cambio de velocidad y esas cosas, pero si yo me pongo uno al lado, otro SANYO, seguramente no sería mejor pareja que que Sanyo con Maxi. Y creo que si Maxi juega con otro Maxi tampoco sería tan buena. Creo que los dos aportamos ese poquito que necesitamos.
With Sanyo now occupying the highest position in the ranking, he explained the difference between playing against the number one or playing as number ones.
Pero, ¿y si juego suelto y les gano? Es noticia mundial, ¿sabes? Entonces yo decía, ¿qué? Si no tengo nada que perder, puedo hacer el papelón de mi vida, claro, pero si me sale bien y les gano, soy noticia.
Y ahora tenés un montón de parejas en esa
hay
situación.
muchas que piensan eso.
Yo
Yo entraba a jugar contra Juan Martín y Vela. Yo jugaba suelto, disfrutaba del partido. Obviamente jugaba a ganarlo, jugaba con una táctica. Tuve la suerte de ganarle siendo joven. Pero claro, ellos tenían mucha más presión que yo. Eso es real. Claro, yo le ganaba. Había un partido que me salían todas. Claro, no, que Juan Martín y Vela no jugaron bien. No, es que ellos tienen más presión que nosotros. Entonces es mucho más admirable los años que estuvieron número uno, porque cada partido que entraron a la cancha, la presión era de ellos.
We will arrive in 2019 with Sanyo and Maxi with the goal of being number one for another year. They started the season by winning 3 titles in the first 4 tournaments, but then came a crisis that Paquito and Lebron took advantage of. Without managing to get back to playing like they had a year ago, they won a total of 5 tournaments in 2019, the same as Paquito and Lebron. But it was the Spaniards who managed to end up being world number ones. Although careful with this fact, because in 5 matches that they faced each other, Sanyo and Maxi won 4 times. So what would happen today? Losing the number one, Sanyo and Maxi said goodbye for the second time. And in these 4 years, they have had different partners. Sanyo has shared the court with Stupa, Vela twice, Tapia, Momo or his nephew Agus. While Maxi has played with Mati Diaz, Campagnolo, Lima or Lucho on 2 occasions as well. And as you probably know, Sanyo's last partner has been Paquito Navarro. They agreed to play together, although Sanyo has said on several occasions that he will never play again with the player from Seville. But this time he was confident that with someone so similar to him, he could sign again after a quite complicated 2023. But Lebron's call has changed the whole story. Because Paquito decided to accept to play with El Lobo and the Paquito Sanyo 2.0 project has already expired. During this time, they lost in first round in Riyadh but reached in the semifinals in Doha. Faced with this scenario, Sanyo had different options. El Gato Tello would have been the aggressive left side player with more points on the ranking, but he decided to bet on Vela, so like the video for analysis and interview of this new pair. Another option for Sanyo Gutierrez would have been Javi Garrido, but however I understand that he has high expectations for his new project with Yanguas, especially after reaching the Doha final. My favorite option for Sanyo would have been Alex Arroyo. Honestly, he seems to me a player who deserves the opportunity to play with a veteran player like Sanyo in order to become more mature, because Arroyo has that madness that can make him succeed. Although it is true that Sanyo has never played with such offensive players. And furthermore, that the ranking penalizes Arroyo and Sanyo, who will be out of the top 8 pairs. So thus, we come to the union of Sanyo and Maxi for the 3rd time. So what are the strengths of the pair? Let's start with the most obvious one, because like Paquito and Lebron, Sanyo and Maxi already know each other. And this means that they will need very little time to adapt to understand each other again on the court. Remember that Sanyo and Maxi have shared 4.5 seasons together, they are friends, and most importantly, their styles of play combine very well. Another very important strong point is the pressure. At this moment, Sanyo and Maxi are not favorites to fight for the number 1 ranking or to reach finals. And as Sanyo said, the pressure is in other pairs. They can play with more freedom against pairs like Coelho and Tapia, who are forced to win everything. At the same time, Sanyo has not stopped repeating the motivation that he has this year. After 2023 was probably his worst year as a professional, the motivation to reserve the situation was also double to play with Paco again. So I wonder, how could the news have affected Sanyo? Honestly, I don't know, but let's remember that he just reached the semifinals in Doha. And another important strong point is that they will be in the top 8 couples, avoiding matches against the main pairs in the first rounds. So now, what are the Sanyo's and Maxi's weak points? The first thing that worries me is Maxi's physical condition. Last October he had surgery, and although he's back to compete, I don't know if he will be at the same level as before. The court that Maxi covered was one of his strong points in that second stage with Sanyo. And in the same way, will the padel that Sanyo and Maxi imposed in 2018 have become old? But it is true that there is hope for fans of this pair. Remember that in 2019 they won the head-to-head to Paquito Lebron 4-1. Or what is the same, Sanyo and Maxi have weapons to defuse that fast padel. But will they be able to do it against Cuello Tapia or the Super Pibes? Okay, and what results are they gonna get together? Because I have many doubts how they will be 4 years after the last time they played together. They split in 2019 with Paquito Lebron as number 1, but they ended up with the same titles and in second position in the ranking. In all this time, Sanyo has remained in the top position of the ranking, but not so Maxi. I like this pair, but on the other hand, I would have liked to see Sanyo with Arroyo, for example. Although I understand that the importance of being in the top 8 pairs of the ranking. However, watch out for Sanyo and Maxi. Without pressure, they are able to disable top pairs and be the kryptonite of ultra fast padel. So do you think that Sanyo is right choosing Maxi? Which partner would you have chosen? Thank you very much for watching the video, don't forget to subscribe and like it, and see you in the next one. Ciao!